TikTok is going to eat Instagram's lunch. And TikTok is going to destroy, in a lot of ways, major usability and usefulness of Facebook. Mark my words. Mark my words. It's coming. I haven't had a Facebook since 2012, and I'm so glad that I deleted my Facebook because I was before the tip of the spear. I was one of those guys who said this is going to be a problem, and I knew it. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn, brush my own shoulders off here, guys, but Facebook was a problem. It was a problem then. It's even a bigger problem now. And frankly, I mean, I know a lot of you guys out there that are watching me or listening to me on podcasts are probably like, man, what's his deal with Facebook? Guys, look. Maybe it's just because of the way that I'm built. Maybe it's just because I'm ultra progressive and futuristic, and that I just see that these social networks are really not social at all, but rather social networks have become essentially news feeds, and most of the news on these platforms are just not news that is helpful. It's just static. And actually, I tweeted about this, and I wrote about this in another blog, that the social media news feed has ruined social media. Because if you think about it, the original intent of social media was to connect with those people I care about, those people that I think I have at least some relational equity with, or at least some semblance of a real relationship with. And if you look into the science of it, and let's say Dunbar's number, for those of you guys who want to look that up, Dunbar's number says that you can't really have that many relationships at all. Frankly, you can't have that many relationships past like 200 people. And so the reality is, if you have more than 200 connections or friends on Facebook, let's be honest, my friends, you don't have that many friends, and you don't know them that well. And what are you actually doing again? Well, spending time on that feed, reading stuff that you don't care about. Oh, that's right, because it used to be social, but now it's just a news feed. And maybe, just maybe, my guys, maybe, just maybe, that's why I've titled today's news bit, Facebook isn't growing anymore. Thank you. I'm actually very happy about this. Facebook isn't growing anymore. The biggest social network in the world is not getting any bigger. That's amazing. This is a good thing. That means that people are looking for other options. They're going to other places. Let's talk about it. Meta posted its fourth quarter earnings Wednesday, sharing financials that disappointed Wall Street enough to send its stock into a nosedive. And actually, that was the major impetus for putting this article together, because it took a crap. Shares of the company, still trading under the ticker symbol FB for now, plunged 20% as the numbers hit. In the fourth quarter, Facebook generated revenues of $33.67 billion, leading to operating income of $12.59 billion, and net income at just over $10 billion. The company also posted earnings per share of $3.67, but how do those figures compare to analyst expectations? Per Yahoo Finance averages that I was able to find, analysts had expected the company to post $33.4 billion in revenue and earnings per share of $3.84 billion. So, Facebook managed a solid top line, even if it missed on per share profit. But here's the problem. The profit miss was not merely a few cents per share. However, it's a bigger problem for the firm. To make a point, let's do some year-over-year comparisons. Guys, I'm your friend. I'm here to help you do some maths, because this is kind of important. It's important to understand the numbers behind this. In Q4 2020, Meta operating income was $12.76 billion, or about 46% of its revenues in the same period. The latter figure fell to just 37% in its most recent quarter. That's a dramatic decline in operating profitability to stomach. Frankly, if you were any other company, this would spell doomsday in a lot of ways. Like, you have a ridiculously negative trajectory going on. Inside the rising costs that shed profitability at Meta are its VR and so-called Metaverse investments. And that, my friends, is what piqued my interest. You might have seen a tweet from me a couple weeks ago where I was talking about how excited I am about the Metaverse and me and my getting into the Metaverse. So excited, guys. But I tweeted about this. When people think about the Metaverse, they think about Nintendo Wii bowling characters. these crappy pixelated, bubbly square box, bodies. That's not a true representation of what the metaverse should be. A true representation of what the metaverse should be like Unreal Engine type stuff, like picture quality, photorealistic, like that. And that's and I believe in a lot of ways that's why Meta and Facebook is doing so poorly, because no one wants to buy into the Nintendo Wii bowling and hanging out in a meeting room that looks exactly like your daggone meeting room in your office. That's not something that's exciting. It's certainly not something that I would wake up and say, "Daggone, man, I can't wait to put on my avatar with my red-haired, square-bodied, egghead-looking dude that you only have 3 options for a face. I'm either like no face, smiling, or I'm sad." Like, okay, that's not what the metaverse is supposed to be about, guys. So let's dig deeper into this. Maybe, just maybe, there's a problem at Facebook. So, Reality Labs, what Facebook says, includes its augmented and virtual reality related consumer hardware, brought in about $877 million in revenue during its most recent quarter, up from $717 million in the 2020 Q4 period. However, Reality Labs' operating losses were $3.3 billion in Q4 2021, slightly higher than its $2.1 billion operating costs in Q4 2020. In short, the metaverse push at Meta is so far not the gold mine that its core business has proved over the years, and the lack of easy profits is harming the company's overall results. The metaverse is far from its shit's goldiverse that the company clearly expects to become in time. Shit. I actually wrote that. Shit's goldiverse. Memeable. Shit's goldiverse. Shit's goldiverse. Things get worse for Meta if we look ahead. The company's CFO says that it expects first quarter 2022 total revenue to be in the range of 27 to 29 billion, which works out to a growth of that's right, sadness, just 3%, which is not very good. Analysts had expected Meta to generate $30 billion in Q1 2022 top line, so the company's guidance is freaking miserable. Down went the stock. Well, Meta's last quarter saw some expected trends play out, including Apple's iOS privacy changes dampening its ad business. It also surfaced the novel fact that Facebook, Meta's core app, is no longer attracting new users. I wonder why Facebook is not attracting new users. Maybe because the user experience at Facebook is so daggone terrible, and the only people hanging out on Facebook are just boomers. Facebook's monthly active users, or MAUs, remained flat from the third quarter in 2021 to the fourth at 2.9 billion. Worse, its daily active users fell from 1.9 to 1.92 billion in the same period. A first for Facebook, which is known for a growth at all costs approach. Some of this is intuitive, though. Facebook is a mature product, to put it gently. It's kind of aging out here, my friends. And there are only so many humans in markets around the world left for the company to sign up. I mean, how many billions of people are there? We can't have all of them on a Facebook, can we? And the company is putting more emphasis than ever on its family of apps, including WhatsApp and Instagram, which are terrible products, both of them. Okay, you let me know in the comments whether you agree with me. I think WhatsApp is crap. Instagram is turned into dog shite. But you let me know if you disagree with me. Fresher products that are likely still to have a ways to go, but WhatsApp and Instagram, in my opinion, are already out the door. TikTok is the thing that has captivated the user growth. TikTok is the thing that has captivated the youth of the nation. TikTok is the best mechanism for consuming massive amounts of quality content very quickly. I mean, let's be honest, guys. TikTok, they're going to win. I mean, Facebook and Instagram are merely just repositories for TikTok videos. What TikTok is, let's take a break on this for a second. What TikTok has done so exceptionally well is TikTok has created this really powerful function called Export To. And I can export my TikTok video to Facebook, to Instagram. I can. Why would I need to ever create original content in Facebook or Instagram? I don't. I make original content on TikTok, and then I just port it over to Facebook and Instagram. And what Facebook and Instagram is going to become, mark my words for those that like to keep me accountable. Mark my words. I believe with 100% certainty in my heart that TikTok, or let's put it this way, Instagram and Facebook are just going to be the repostings of TikTok. And I think the metrics are already showing us that to be true. And so TikTok is going to eat Instagram's lunch. And TikTok is going to destroy, in a lot of ways, major usability and usefulness of Facebook. Mark my words. Mark my words. It's coming. Anyway, the user growth slowdown at Facebook came in the same quarter that the company formerly known as Facebook announced that it would rebrand as Metaverse, trying to cash in on that name, complete with plans to steer its resources towards building immersive virtual experiences that basically look like Nintendo Wii Bowling. The good news, if there's any, for Meta is that it still owns the world's biggest social graph. But is that really good news? What's the bad news? Even if user growth slowdown was expected, it's just one more thing making Facebook, and consequently Facebook's family of apps, as Meta calls it, look more like a relic from the past rather than a shining vision of the future. Well, you guys let me know your thoughts on this. I thought this was absolutely interesting. I think it was a great statistical validation of where I believe Facebook is headed, that Facebook is no longer growing. Its community is dying out. The usability and usefulness of it is no longer valuable. And the amount of feature bloat in there makes Facebook essentially Microsoft Excel. And so you guys let me know in the comments. Smash the like button. Smash the like button. Let me know in the comments whether you agree with me. If Facebook is slowing, should it go away? Should it rebrand again? Should it get away from the Meta moniker? I think what we're going to see is we are going to see Facebook fail miserably at the Metaverse. And that's going to be a good thing. Because when Facebook fails at the Metaverse, what's going to happen? Better options are going to happen. What's going to happen? Better systems. And hopefully those systems are going to be even more in tune with the kind of core foundations of Web3, right? Decentralization, privacy, digital security. Yeah, I think Facebook is going to be a trailblazer. They're going to fail, and others are going to pick it up. You know, speaking of failing, you know, one of the things that I learned in 2016, 17, and 18 is that mining at scale is really hard. And mining at scale in ASICs is really expensive. And in many cases, financially, not probably the smartest thing to do. However, there are solutions out there. And I'll tell you one right now. One of those solutions is a company based out of Atlanta called Emirate.io. Emirate.io has created a retail miner for anyone. You go to Emirate.io, EMRIT.io. You can pick yourself up a retail HNT helium miner, and you can begin mining cryptocurrency. It's an amazing deal. Check it out. Emirate.io, guys. Smash the like button. Let me know your opinions, your comments. Share this far and wide, and let everybody know. I'm back. I have opinions. They're not always right, but it doesn't matter.